Rishil Bhagat from Parul Institute of Engineering Technology, Diploma Studies from Electrical Engineering Department. So, I welcome you all in our webinar series. Uh, good morning, one and all present over here. So today our guest of lecture is Mr. Sailesh B. Patel. He is a senior manager and head of section of CTPT cables and wires capacitor HT cables. He is from Electrical Research and Development Association, which is called as the ERDAM. He has he has widely experience uh, of about 19 years experience in high voltage. He has also experience in evolution of HT product like LT cables, HT cables, capacitors, CT, VT, and transformers, etc. He has also experience in diagnostic testing and analysis of generator, transformer, current transformer, potential transformers, CVTs, cables, motors, etc. He has also published and presented papers more than 20 numbers in national and international seminars and workshops. So, without not much wasting our time, I will introduce Mr. Sailesh Patel to start our session on testing and construction of cables. So, I welcome Mr. Sailesh Patel to start his session. Yes, sir, you can start.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for in my introductions, and good morning, all of you. Respected HOD Hetal Ma'ams, Professor Rushil Bhagat sir, and other faculty members and dear students. Today, I am going to share the few slides about the cable construction and the evolutions of the cables. Hope my slide is visible to you.
સર ફરીથી સ્ક્રીન પ્રેઝન્ટેશન
Hello. Is it visible?
ફરીથી સ્લાઇડ શેર કરજો સર.
Yeah, okay. Wait.
It's visible, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Once again, good morning, all of you. Today, I am going to share about the construction detail and the evolution of the cables. Currently, I am working in Electrical Research and Development Associations, and Mr. Rushil Bhagat has already introduced me. Without wasting time, let us go further. We know that we are looking for the generations of powers, then transmission of power, and the finally distribution of the power. As we see in this slide, the power is generated from this power plant, and this cable is required to take the power up to the station transformers, and then from the station transformer it will be a step up and then transmitted through a transmission line. After then it will comes to the power substations, and where it will be again step down to the required voltage level, either 66 kV, 132 kV, 33 kV, or 11 kV, or 6.6 kV or 3.3 kV according to the requirements. And then it will be distributed using these small poles up to the our domestic level, that is up to the pole mounted substations. Here is the pole mounted substations, you can see over here. You can see over here, and then again finally it comes to the house. Here also we require the service cables, normally we call as a service cable, so cable is required. Now in the current scenario, And in the urban developments, all these overhead lines are slowly replaced by the underground cables so that we can get the more space. Even in our Baroda, if you have gone through the city, there are many high tension lines are there. They are also going to be replaced with the underground cables because it occupies more space. And safety point of view, also in the urban area, it is very difficult to handle with the others high rise building and all. So it will be going to replace by the underground cables. So how we introduce these underground cables? So before we go through the construction of cable, let us have a history of these cables. The first transmission of three-phase alternating currents using high voltage took place in 1891. The concept of this underground power transmission was established in 19th century. Rubber insulated cable was first used and voltage rating was 11 kV. And it was introduced in 1897 and it was used in the Niagara Fall power project. That is the first power project, Niagara Fall. Before 1960, underground power cables were insulated with oil and paper. You must have visited the substations. Still, many substations are using the PILC cables. The short form of this cable is PILC cables, paper insulated, oil impregnated papers. So at that time, the introduction of this latest technology was not available, and because of that, the paper with oil impregnated insulating materials was used with underground cables. After 1960 to 90, use of polymers like thermoplastics and thermostatic, that is PVC, EPR, and HEPR, as the insulations become more popular. And the because of their advantage, it is widely used in the cable manufacturers, and it has partially replaced the PILC cables. After 90, with the improved property and the more reliable operating characteristic of XLP, that is the cross cables, it's nowadays it is widely used for all class of cables, considering the low voltage cables, medium voltage cables, and even the extra high voltage cables, because of certain advantage of this cross-linked polyethylene. It needs to be for students because widely used across the world, cross-linked polyethylene, because it has the good capability of bending, because while laying the cable will undergo the bendings. So if cable have no any bending characteristics, then the insulations may damage during laying itself, and it will not sustain the supplied power. So good dielectric strength, good bending strength, and that is why it is widely used in the as the insulating materials for underground cables. There are various classifications of the power cables, and according to these classifications of voltage class, various standards are divided into various groups. The LV, low voltage, that is up to 1.1 kV. You must have gone through the cables being used in our house, in our building, that is of rating of 1.1 kV. If you go through that printing which is available on the cables, you can find the type of cables, construction of cables, and the voltage rating of the cables. It is necessary requirement of the ISI, that is the Bureau of Indian Standard, or any international cable. That rating of cable should be marked on the cables. Second is the medium voltage cable. This is for all cable. This marking is mandatory for all type of cables. Second is the medium voltage cable, that is 1.1 kV to 35 kV. Then the high voltage cable, that is from 35 kV to 230 kV. And then extra high voltage cable, that is above 230 kV up to less than 800 kV. And then ultra high voltage cable, that is above 800 kV. Now let us understand the basic constructions of the cables and the function of each parts. So first we will start from these conductors. So this is the conductor. And the conductor is basically of carrying the currents, and it may be either of copper conductor or the aluminum conductor. And here in the figure you can see a number of strands are there. So different conducting materials are available. Here you can see the class 1 solid conductors. So this solid conductor, that is class 1, you must have seen in our domestic, in our house also, the single solid conductors, and normally we call as ek adar, ek vis, like that, correct? So this is the solid conductor and it is called as a class 1 conductor. The flexibility of this class 1 conductor is comparatively lower. If you bend this cable, then it will form in that positions. It will not come back to the original positions. It will be in that positions because of the these poor bending strengths, and it is in the solid conductor. That is why. Second one is the stranded conductors. Here you can see the stranded conductors are there. And third one is the class 5 flexible conductor. This is also available in the our house applications. If you have the iron press or the geyser or any appliances where this type of flexible cables are used because of more flexibility. Because while doing the ironing of clothes, we require the flexibility of iron, and for that we require the class 5, and it will carry the more currents and it will suffice our requirement. That is why for more flexibility we require the class 5 flexible conductors. For the industrial purposes where flexible but the movement of cable is very less, where we can apply the stranded conductors. This here you can see in the figures, over the conductor the semiconducting layer is there, correct? This semiconducting layer, and it is called as a conductor shield. The main advantage of this conductor shield is that the outer surface, here you can see the stranded conductor. I have drawn this figure over here. The outer surface of these conductors, if we remove the conductors and only the semiconducting layer is there, and if we see from here, then it will looks like that. Here you can see that the surface is not uniform. This is the conductor impressions, correct? So when we apply the voltage, then this area, as we know that the skin effect, so the alternating currents always try to at the surface sides, correct? So this area will be more stressed during the actual applications, correct? And if this area will be more stressed, then if we don't provide this semiconducting layer, then the insulating materials which is close to this point will be stressed more, and the deterioration of that insulating materials will be very fast compared to the other insulating materials. So to avoid this uneven distributions of electrical field, this semiconducting layer itself is conducting in nature, so it will provide the uniformity across the outer surface of the conductors. So effective electrical field on the outer side of the conductors will be this one, correct? So stress on the insulations, inner insulation, this one is the insulation. So stress on the inner surface of the insulation will be reduced by using this semiconducting layer, correct? This is the main advantage of this semiconducting layer. In LT cables, we will see in the LT cable also, this type of semiconducting layer is not required below 3.3 kV, because insulation itself is sufficient and it will withstand the stress produced by that conductors. So it will not more deteriorate the insulating materials. But as on we go on increasing the voltage level, then this stress will be more compared to the low voltage cable. So in the low voltage cables, many times this semiconducting layer is not provided. Like here you can see this the LT cables. Here the semiconducting layer is not provided. Only insulating material is there. Correct. After this semiconducting layer, insulating material is there. Here you can see this insulating materials. This is the heart of the cable, because basically these insulations will provide the separations from the high voltage to ground. This point is connected to ground and this point is connected to high voltage. So this is the insulating materials which provides the sufficient dielectric strength. You remember dielectric strength. Dielectric means that one electrode and the second electrode, it provide the dielectric strength between two electrodes so that it can survive the all type of high voltages, the normal high voltages, even during lightning stock or the switching stocks. So this insulating material will withstand all type of high voltage, normal high voltages and lightning stocks. Correct. And the different insulating materials are being used. As I told in the initial slide, PILC cables, paper insulated cables, PVC materials, elastomeric materials, and the latest one, the cross-linked polyethylene materials will be used as a insulating materials. Okay. The second layer, that is the, and now for the LT cables. For LT cables, here you can see the different materials are available. Even here you can see the thickness is lower in the LT cables because the voltage rating is low. As we go on increasing the voltage level from 1.1 kV to 11 kV, 33 kV, 66, 132 and 2, this cable is increased. And as I told, the semiconducting layer is not provided in these cables. Here you can see. So in LT cable, that is not much more stress. That is why it is not provided. And you can see LT cable, it is possible to provide the color coding for the materials. Correct. And this one is the aerial bunch cables. You have seen in our near area the aerial bunch cable. In aerial bunch cables, there are two types. The one street light cables, correct? So that is also one type of the aerial bunch cables, and the 11 kV cables, the 11 kV transmission lines which is passing through to our houses, correct? So that is also in urban area. The distribution lines are replaced by these aerial bunch cables, correct? So these aerial bunch cables contain the semiconducting layers between the insulation and the conductors. Also, it will be provided with the copper screen also, correct? And this one is the messenger conductor. It will provide the mechanical strength for the all three cores, correct? Here you can see all the cores are twisted in the forms, correct? Here you can see easily make out that cables are twisted in the forms. This twisting of core, this is called the core. This core 1, core 2, and core 3. The twisting of this core is required because during the short circuit, the force will not damage the cables. So that will be controlled by if the cables are twisted. And the other parameters like the inductance and the mutual capacitance. So mutual inductance and mutual capacitance will be nullified by this twisting of the conductors, correct? Now, over the insulating materials, one more layer, the semiconducting layer is there. Okay, one more semiconducting layer. This is the first semiconducting layer and this one is the second semiconducting layers. So, as I told that insulating materials is act as a dielectric materials, and this dielectric materials is sandwiched by two semiconducting layers, the one semiconducting layer and the second semiconducting layers. The function of this semiconducting layer is that it will provide the air gap less, remember, air gap less contacts of copper screen to insulating material, correct? If any small air gap between this semiconducting layer and the insulating materials will be there, then definitely there will be chances of generation of partial discharges. And dear friends, you all aware, I will go through briefly about the partial discharge. This partial discharge is nothing but it is a cancer of insulating materials. Slowly, it will deteriorate the insulating materials and failure of insulating materials will be there. So to avoid that small air gaps, the during the manufacturing, this extrusion of these semiconducting layers, these insulating materials, and these semiconducting layers will be done simultaneously. Okay, so that will be very less, even not even single chance to have a small air gap, and that is it will provide the good insulation, good life of the cables. So this is the main function of the semiconducting layer. It will provide the uniform stress controls for the insulating materials. If you have seen the fire brigade pipe, correct na? As soon as we release the water from the fire brigade pipes and we don't handle properly, then it will be very dangerous conditions for the nearer humans. Correct? It is like as the anaconda, it will move here and there. Similarly, if we don't provide the semiconducting layer and the semi copper screen, then the return path for the high voltage will be not sufficient, and in that case the fluctuations of voltage will be there, and because of that fluctuations it will damage the insulating materials. So this is the main importance part for the this insulation shield and the copper screen to provide the sufficient tangential stress to the insulating materials. Correct? I think it is more important part for the any type of the cables. Correct? So it will provide the easy path for the leakage current, fault current, or it will remove the charge current. Insulating materials are capacitive in nature. Correct? Na? Capacitive in nature. So as soon as we charge the cables, we apply the voltage over here, these insulating materials will charge, and because of this charge, the charging current will be there. So this semiconducting layer and the copper screen will allow the smooth path for the leakage currents. Here you can see the band of strip, PVC strip is there. So this is nothing but it is indications of the core. It is of R phase, blue phase, yellow phase, like that. Correct? So it is the indications for the core, because at the far end it is difficult to make out the which core is there. And this one is the filler. As I told, that cables are twist forms. And to make them in tight conditions, these fillers are used normally, and to and the core, this inner sheath is provided. Many times inner sheath in the form of continuous what you call the by extrusion process, or by tap is provided as a PVC tap, as a inner sheath to bind this core and the filler. After then, you can see here armor is there. Correct? So main function of armor is there. It will provide the mechanical protections to the cables. And for single core cables, it will act as a screen also. This is also called as a screen. If we forget about these two core, then this core having one copper screen and armor is there. So the function of armor is similar to copper screen in case of single core cable only. Otherwise, it will provide the mechanical strengths to the cables, and carry the fault current during the fault conditions. Correct? After then, the last layer, that is the outer sheath. This outer sheath provides the protections to the armor and other components of the cables. If we don't provide this outer sheath and just lay the cables with armor, then the armors will be corroded very fastly. Even within 1 month, it will be corroded because the supersaturated air will be there in the underground cables. So the materials of core will be armor will be contaminated and corroded, so it will be in the come in the brittle form, and it will not function properly during short circuits, correct? So to protect all these conditions, this outer sheath is required, and normally these outer sheaths are of PVC materials, correct? So this is the basic construction of the cables: conductor, semiconducting layer, insulating material, semiconducting layer, copper screen, color coating tab, this filler, inner sheath, armor, and outer sheath. For single core cables, the construction is same. The conductor, here is the semiconducting layer, insulating materials, semiconducting layer over insulation, copper screen, inner sheath, armor, and outer sheath. Here you can see the cross sections of the cables. The conductor, this black one is the semiconducting layer, and this is the thickness. This thickness varies from voltage level. Suppose 11 kV cable is from 3.30 will so thickness insulated provide cable. For the will be so this one is in the, but out this visible yes, and this one is the semiconductor screen. E provide correct. So main advantage of this copper screen, it will separate out the each cores from each others, correct? If any be ground, so and all to be sure, correct. More thing, voltage up to 1000 for 3 core 66 kV. Early 66 single ready the last years and many latest are cable manufacturers kV still in our commission Tata working. So the cable understand this cable to these are the type that is in that is one is stationary before it will be that is it will meet the requirement, then the manufacturer will start manufacturing after getting the approvals. Once the manufacturer get the order of certain lots, suppose 5 kilometer cable length to be utility select to ensure that the order which is given to the manufacturer and manufacturer has manufactured the cables are meeting the requirement or not. For that, the numbers there selected tests will be carried out to ensure the cables this must products transport for products. Same this will on out the for the part one is the will deteriorate the life of the cables. Conduct test the different types of the tests. Groups, the physical test that is called the non-electrical is the electrical test, correct? This electrical test and this physical test will be done on the finished cable. Normal and of the simulation of field conditions. Once we to the right start cables perform after the cable partial, then the partial discharge test will be there. Those bulbs voltage will be by rate defined as U0 by U, where U0 is and 11, it will be by 6 not in this air voltage to little higher than the line voltage. Suppose line to line fault is there, then there will be chances of nearer to 11 kV. And during these conditions, if the voltage level of each phase kV, then also it may be your the one kind of the simulations, there will be chances of higher voltage in the field conditions. And if such kind of higher voltage will be there, then what will happen to the insulation? So that need to be checked during PD test, even in high standards are the tests, and this will check the physical and the these are the list of the physical tests on conductors. So it will check the what is the tensile strength of the conductors and the conductor resistance. This conductor resistance test is a part of routine is together very because material, as far as material is concerned, for aluminum conductor or the copper conductor, this conductor resistance will play a major role. So we have to be very, very conscious while measuring the conductor resistance. Now, as we know that when they face any interview or something, they little confused which type of power supply is required. And you all are aware when power to make supply easily is equal that is the thickness of the insulations according to the voltage cards. This vary of or XLP thickness will be different to the what BS standards of that particular insulating materials. Even for standards specifically asked were different and thick. Then tensile strength and elongation similar to this conductor. The I have then this fire brigade pipe. Similarly, any cable kilo ampere, 13 kilo ampere, 19 ampere, it per unit on the in the that particular circuit. For insulate difficult to have a to be in a original positions. So these all parameters will be checked during physical test. Aging in when the heated conductor will dissipate the heat into the insulating cable. Effect, temperature effect. This aging test is carried out. This age carried this physical shock test of stability on the now fire resistance property. This is very, very important parameter for the cables. We all are occurred. सबको very capable materials kind of contamination manufacturing material manufacturing required to conditions or place during that and को आगे ज्यादा वो हेलो ऐसा होता है लेकिन चाहते हैं तो not the exact can't of this too much देखने की to self का आएगा देगा should be नहीं continue ताकि उसका correct. So these are the important to serve and so why to be is the cable memory low tox we have in my coding retard it fire and is the low it is zero halogen fire retardant. There is no problem. Last one, those this one low type available according to take and be there and it under this then by the cables and fire will be spread by the cable itself. Its cable is not proper. Generate the dense must have generate the too much smoke and visibility will be not the exit. That dangerous to smooth breathing. So and generate the poisonous gas. So there are fire retardant and fire retardant, low smoke and low halogen type of cables. And this Bureau of Indian Standards in 2018, they have introduced the cable standards for low smoke zero halogen cables because countries they are very much conscious about and in theaters, in malls, they have this type of property of the cables. Okay, now let us check the one more sustainability of the cables. Here you can see the fire is there already, correct? And here this side power supply is given to the cables, and here you can see the power supply taken from the cables. On the other sides the lamp load is there, correct? So power supply is given to these cables, and the power supply passing through these conductors, and then it will be connected to the load. Now during this fire condition, insulations may not be damaged. This is the requirement of the standards, because during any type of conditions power supply reliability should be there. So material should be provided in the cable material to which can withstand this type of conditions, correct? So mica fillers and other property will be added into the cable construction, which can provide this type of facility in the cables. Second is here, but here, and it will be taken out from here, and the fire in this condition similar to the condition after water will be there. So during this water spray also the insulation is to give the output of power. So this is the requirement of category W, correct? Now condition that is the category Z conditions, that is the resistance to cable is mounted like that, correct now? So it will be move on up down. There it will provide the mechanical stocks to the cables. Material during this condition also continuity of power supply should be there. So these are the simulations of field conditions, because in the field conditions if fire took place, we normally fire is already there, so category C will be covered, correct? Category C will be covered. After fire we call the fire brigades, even we apply the some fire extinguisher or the water or something, correct? So during that water condition also it should not be interrupt the power. Mechanical stocks will be there, continuous extinguisher, correct? In these conditions. Nowadays, the standard has introduced the one more stringent conditions. If during that fire conditions, the fire mechanical impact, if applied simultaneously, and normally we have seen in the field, these all conditions are applied simultaneously. We will not apply the fire only, water only, or the mechanical impact only, but it will be applied simultaneously. And for that, standard has introduced new technology. Here you can see this cable is supplied with the power, and the load is connected on these sides, and the cable is over here, and it is fired, and then here you can see the mechanical rod is there. It is going drop down to this assembly, and it will disturb, and the here it is not visible, but here you, if you can make out, the water spray will be there. Here you can see this assembly, water spray will be there, so the water will be directly like as you must have seen the car washing. So spray will be there on the cables, so it should not, cable should not disturb during simultaneous fire and the water spray, and it should continue the supply of powers during these extreme conditions. So this is the requirement for the fire survival conditions of cables. Now let us talk on the it is 10:48. I need to go a little fast. Okay, electrical test sequence on cables. As I told, partial discharge test, bending test, electric power factor test, that is 10 delta test as a function of voltage and temperatures, load cycle test, that is heating cycle test, impulse test, and high voltage test. I will go in brief the partial any will create a problems during this partial discharge measurement. And many times, even the national international seminar, I am quoting this partial discharge as a cancer of the insulating materials, because day by day it will expand in their own positions, and ultimately it reduce the dielectric strength of the one of the PD source is there, and the two dielectric materials is there. So this type of micro cracks will be generated by the PD source, and ultimately you can see the overall good insulating material is reduced by this micro cracks, and dielectric strength is reduced, and unwanted breakdowns of insulating material is there. So this is the importance of cables, and we need to carry out the partial discharge test. This is the actual figures of the cables, and here you can see the cracking of this material. The treeing effect on the insulating materials, which deteriorate the insulating materials. This is the slice of the insulating materials, how this PD has deteriorated the dielectric property. Here you can see the very, very fine micro cracks are there. Even here also it is visible. These all are the conducting in nature. Is conducting in nature, and it will reduce the dielectric strength. Now, this is very important. For you must have seen the high voltage cables even nearer to our houses also. The cables over the underground cables, while raised to the pole mounted substations. Cable termination is very, very important one, and main heart of this termination is the junction of semiconducting layer over insulating materials. Insulating materials, semiconducting layer over insulating materials. This is the conductor, then this is the insulating material, and the semiconducting layers. Though these junctions need to be covered very carefully by any kind of resistive material. These termination kits are resistive in nature. Why I am calling is resistive? Because it won't allow any charge, any charge to flow from conductor to the materials of the termination is poor, then you will find this type of bluish bluish flame in live conditions. We have seen in the dark room while testing this type of HT cables, and we have taken this image. So here you can see the slight impression is there. This is the insulating material, and from this one the semiconducting layers will start. So this is the junctions, correct? So all charge generated by these conductors will try to go towards the second electrode, that is to try towards the earth electrode. And before going to the earth electrode, this semiconducting layer, after then this copper screen will be there. So this junction will be stressed more, both in termination and joint. The construction is similar, correct? So this will be stressed more, and for the jointer, the main beauty of jointer to concentrate over here and to provide resistive materials to resist this charge generated from the conductor. Here you can see this type of conditions will be there when the aging effect is there, even moisture is there, contaminated material is there, even seashore is there. अगर अपन दरिया साइड पे जाएंगे और वहां कोई पावर प्लांट है, कोई सबस्टेशन है, तो चांसेस ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ कंडीशंस विल बी देयर. चार्जिंग करंट्स विल बी मोर ऑन द सरफेस साइड्स, एंड इट विल डिटेरियोरेट द सरफेस insulating materials of junction. Then this type of puncture will see any kind of this puncture. This is nothing but it is due to the high voltage puncture. It is not because of the high currents. There are failure of cables due to high voltage, because of mainly 90% case because of this poor terminations, or if any incipient partial discharge source will be there in the cable, then and then failure uh, will be there, then this type of failure will be there in the field. For the partial discharge, we need to analyze whether it is the internal discharges or the external discharges, and accordingly we can analyze. I am not going much more in detail for the partial discharge analysis. Just I am giving how we analyze the partial discharge. If any single void or air gap something is there, then here you can see the number of PD burst, PD pulse. If number of are more, here you can see the number of pulses are increased. Now, for the PD test setups, this dotted line is called as a Faraday case. It will allow the external, it will not allow external high frequency signals to enter into the test bay. And this is the line filter, the regulator, that is the variac or static frequency converters. This is the HV source, HV filter is coming generated from the HV source being filtered in this HV filter. It is a combination of inductor and capacitor. This one is the coupling capacitor. From there we take the return path for the PD measurement, and this is the test object, that is the our cable, and this is the PD detector. This is the basic construction of cables. In the laboratory conditions for the PD measurement, this is the bare conditions of the cable H of the 11 kV cables, and here you can see the conductor. Now the oil used is dipped in the mineral oil. Here you can see the conductor is connected to this high voltage point, and this insulating material and junction is in the mineral oil, so that there will be no least chances of charge to flow from surface to this junction. So unwanted discharges during partial discharge measurement. This is the test set 2 for contamination in beauty. You can and green is there cable is the two water pipes are there. One inlet pipe, contamination, the there is no any minerals in the cables, and conductivity of cable water is very low, very low. Even I can say it is negligible. So water is used, and this water is in continuous because of this voltage. So during in court take, so will be dielectric which is will be will so you consider it is a 400 kV, and here it is connected to earth, so that much of space they want you want water will be heated up, and to cool and full water is that. of the for the high voltage and for the tan delta or the dielectric dissipation factor measurement. This setup is of air duct. Now, Bhagat sir, I will take 5 to 10 minutes more. Is it okay?
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay, please, thank you.
Yeah.
Now then, this is the bending test. For bending test, the drum is required. So the cable drum is required, and on the cable drum of diameters according to the calculations of the standard, the 20 times or the 25 times the diameter of cables, the diameter of drum is selected, and then cable is wound, unwound, wound, unwound. Similar 3 cycles will be carried out on the bending test. Because it is a basically simulation, string simulations, considering the laying the cables, cable will go undergo the different kind of the bending, and because of that bending, cable constructions like copper screen, conductor, semiconducting layer, armor may damage, and because of that it will also bring out immediately we carry out the partial discharge measurement. There should not be any detectable discharges after bending test. So that is the conformity for the bending test. Then the dielectric power factor test. The dielectric power factor test is performed 2 types. That is as a function of voltage. That means the cable under test will be tested at 2 kV, then 0.50 U0, and U voltage is increased as a function of temperature. That means the conductor temperature will be increased so that it will achieve the desired temperature according to the insulating material. Suppose PVC insulating material is there, then conductor temperature, if cross-link poly, that is, then conductor temperature should be 90 degree. In that conditions, we need to measure the dielectric power factor. This dielectric power factor test will give the current flowing through the conductors. Here, the main heart of this 10 delta measurement. Just you understand this one, then it will be easy for you to understand the dielectric power factor test or the 10 delta test. For as we know that for any ideal capacitor, when the angle, voltage and current is exactly called as ideal capacitor. But normally it is never happens in the field conditions. There will be some the responsible parameters are there. Even insulating material itself will allow some current to flow from the insulating materials. So it will give the some resistive components. Correct? Some resistive components. चाहे कितने भी अच्छे हो लेकिन विलन तो रहते ही रहते हैं. तो because of this impurities, some leakage path will be there, and because of that the resultant current will be there, and resultant currents makes the angle delta. The angle is very low, but it will show the value of the 10 delta. Correct? If the value of delta is more, value of 10 delta is more, and deterioration of insulating material is more, life of cable is less. So we should procure the cables having very low 10 delta value. Correct? This is the basic setup. Here test setup. This is the high voltage transformer. Standard capacitor, that means it has no any leakage paths. That means it is SFC is gas filled, and its capacitance is normally very low. If we talk about the 800 kV, its capacitance is 20 picofarad. If its capacitance is nearly 100 picofarad. If we talk about the 600 kV, 500 kV, then its capacitance will be nearly 50 picofarad. If we go on increasing the voltage level, the capacitance value is reduced, correct, to make it easy movements. So these standard capacitors are air gap filled, and as in any but in actual is gas filled dielectric material is there, so there will be very least chances of flow of any current through this dielectric material of standard capacitor, and that is why it is called as a standard capacitor. The angle between voltage and current is exactly standard takes the image. You can see voltage is provided over here and return is taken from the copper screen, correct? And using as we know that the cable will undergo the continuous the expansion and contractions because it will carry the currents. The load pattern of the distribution sites, it may not be constant every times. If you load patterns, so it is like as a decrease, increase, decrease, slight fluctuations of currents will be there. So because of that fluctuations of the load patterns, cable continuously undergo the contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, correct? If we load is more, the cable conductor will be heated more. After during the low load conditions, cable conductor will bring down, so contraction expansion will be there. Because of this contraction and expansion, the cable insulations will feel some contraction and expansion, and because of that conditions, it should not create any PD or it should not increase the 10 delta value. So after completions of the required load cycle or the heating cycle test, the 10 delta test and the PD test is carried out to check the conformity of the test. Then lightning impulse test, as we know that the during normal lightning period, in the monsoon conditions, there will be lightning stock, even switching stocks will be there, correct? So to withstand that conditions, the cable will undergo the lightning impulse withstand test. The normal condition is 1.2 by microseconds, and as per the different standards, the different positive and negative lightning stocks to be applied in the field. It is just similar to the simulations of the field conditions. For the 11 kV cables in our power system, normally 70 kV is there, like that. In for the 33 kV, 170 kV is there, like that. It will be on for 66 kV, 325 kV is there. kV to be applied for the cables and check its health.
ગુડ મોર્નિંગ રુદ્ર, આપણે
High
વેબિનાર
voltage
એટેન્ડ નથી કરવાનો રુદ્ર?
High voltage test, this is the last test. After performing the lightning impulse test, 15 minutes the high voltage test is carried out to check whether it has withstand lightning impulse voltage test or not. And just for your information, for the type test, high voltage test is carried out for 4 hours. 4 hours, and for U0 is the phase voltage. Suppose for let us take the example of 11 kV, phase voltage is 6.35 kV and multiply 4, that means it is nearly about 26 kV, correct? 26 kV for 4 hours, because cable is a cable is a main link between the all power equipments, so there should not be any failure due to cables. So cable should be in much more higher withstand level compared to the transformer and the generator. So that is why as per the all national and international standard, this high voltage test is very stringent in the cables. It is continued up to 4 hours. Okay, sir, I have completed.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is a one question from a few of the for the
Yes, it is. It is normally transported in the cable drum. I have shown you that in the slides you must have seen that the cable drum. So it is that in cable selected based on the size of the cables and voltage class of the cables. Devans, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So there is no any other questions from our student side.
Okay.
So on behalf of Parul University, I am very much thankful to Mr. Sailesh Patel sir for acknowledging and briefing in the topic of testing and construction of the cable. To you, sir. Thank you very much.
It is little difficult to cover all this requirement. Normally we do the 2 days seminar for the complete cable constructions and the evaluations. So for me it is little difficult to cope up in the 1 hour. So anyhow, if any part is missing, I regret for that.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. It's very informative at all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Shall I leave, sir?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Well.